mean, like we all have a friend that's a really good friend that, and I've got no time, that throws parties and she invites everyone. But then this other friend is kind of judgmental. And then I'm like, well, you're judgmental. That's why I don't even tell you about the parties because you're very judgmental. But then they take it they take it like that person didn't invite them. So I think for me, how do we care at this point? We shouldn't. Okay.
Because you're in the middle of it.
I'm in the middle. Well, my one friend could care less.
Right.
All coming. But this friend is like, okay, well, I didn't get invited. Well, you do get invited, you're just judgmental. So you probably shouldn't go.
I mean, I like to think that at our age that we can just reframe that to say if I wasn't invited, then I probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, but I think we find ourselves trying to explain the reasons why.
And those are unhealed. We want to talk about relationships. That sounds like an unhealed situation that possibly happened to where.
With me and her?
No, maybe you and her and the party.
No, I think it's just
or maybe
I think it's just the.
And I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I think when you have I believe as we get older, I used to have these black and white. It's either black, this white. I'm at a point in my life. You do you. You enjoy yourself. I don't have a judgment about it because for me, you're grown, I'm grown. Whereas you have these outside people that have judgment on everything. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that's a hard. I wouldn't want to put that person in a situation where you have this judgmental person.
Right.
So just using your example, are you the one that has to invite the person? I'm not getting that.
Well, after it's over with and the person's not invited. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't.
How do they hear about it? They see it on Facebook.
They see it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, well, I don't think you would want to come anyway. So what's the big deal? Well, they thought we thought y'all were friends, but we are friends. But different friends do different things,
right?
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Going back to the familiarity, you're coming back from Tulsa.
Yes, Tulsa,
and all of the friendships from high school through college through adulthood.
Yeah.
How do you navigate each phases of that life and who comes along? And I think that's where you were talking about where your boundaries and your outer friends, your inner friends, the friends you grew up with, the friends you're familiar with because they put in time. But yeah, friends with all your friends from kindergarten.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a couple. And like I said, the beauty, and I think the beauty of it is that from knowing you at 4 through 10 or so in elementary school, and we're being friends, but then going to different middle schools. And then I meet Eschelle in 7th grade, and then she's just like my friend, and then going to high school, and then that takes different shape. Not that we became any less friends, but our relationship changed. And then for you two to come together at a certain phase in life and then become best friends, and then it's like, oh, we're all friends.
We're all friends.
I know.
So now we're all peace. Isn't that something? I think of God, right? It's like you know exactly what you need throughout your life that will help you.
And that can be full circle.
That is so full circle in this moment.
Yeah. That the same trust, or the friendship that we had, and then the same trust and friendship that we had, that then you can share, and then we all can share. So, I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing.
I think it's important, like going back to what you're saying, I think it's important that those exist.
Yes.
I think it's important. I think men should have those. I think that's important for men.
That's hard for men. I know offense to any man listening, but I feel like the ego is so much larger. Mm. There's so much more to prove. That's what. But I think I see with the young boys, the young men, right, in schools, they gotta be somebody, right? Mm-hmm. They can't just be themselves. They gotta try out all these different personalities. And this is my opinion, I am not a man. But for me, watching, being in a school role and watching kiddos from elementary through high school,
okay,
and seeing how they may develop And knowing for some of my kids, when I did work in sites and school sites, some of my kids went to because I've worked in elementary, middle, and high school. And some of them traveled, just so happened to the schools that I've worked in, and just to see the development or lack of development.
You think because maybe they didn't have strong friendships?
Maybe, well, my point is how they evolved and how they evolved in friendships. So you were saying, men could have those friendships. So somewhere in there that kind of dictates where they go from there. Now they can have a totally different experience in college, but who's going to college and who's not. And that to me can be a determining factor, but definitely those type of friendships can happen the same way we're talking about ours have happened, but then you become an adult and there's just so much pressure on a man. It just is. So I don't know how they navigate their friendship groups, but it's
because men are not that expressive.
right.
And so I think it's important for them to have an outlet. And I don't know what that looks like younger, but I think as you get older, it's
what I'm
more.
saying, it evolves into that. Maybe
I think the dads have to take the lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They have
no dad.
Or uncle or a mentor. Someone has to take the lead and put them in that type of setting. I think that works. The disc personality, that would help them understand something like that
too.
But if you have a parent or if you have a mentor to take it, then it helps you understand your capacity as a male, a young man. And so I think, and he said he's done that, and it, especially for boys going off to college, because you're still trying to figure it out. And then you understand I can't be like this person. So you're finding your lane because you know you don't have that safe place from home and you're away.
It takes them so much longer.
It takes them so much longer. And so you understand this is my personality. It's not what my parents have said it is. And then talk through that. And so I'm an introvert, but I'm this. I'm not a dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said that's really helped him. So maybe some type of situation like that. I don't know.
I don't know at what age a man says this is who I am and this.
I don't know. Do y'all know how Mr. Cortez is over there? How late do they bloom? Men bloom.
They still blooming. As we all are.
So there's a real answer to There's a technical answer.
Right.
So women obviously mature much faster than men. So typically women are at their full mental capacity around 28, 29. Men are somewhere around 33.
And so do you think it's important, that the women, as women, that we are friends, that we present the best friend to the men that are in our lives, allowing them to show weakness without judgment?
That is something you grow into.
Definitely think it's something that we grow into because we're taught that, men should be these things. But I think, as we mature, that we can show up for men, and allow them a place to be vulnerable, but not saying that they're weak, but allow their weakness, just as we do in our friendships.
Yes.
And, a lot of times we mimic, we have friends, we have our friends. And so when we start the dating process, we say we want a best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that unfolds differently. But it's like, okay, so you want me to be your best friend. And of course, they don't usually have the capacity for all of our emotions because they're logical. But it's like, would you do this to your best friend? Would you treat your best friend like that?
I think that's a whole nother.
There's
There's some testosterone on the table because that's
interesting.
Because we're gonna all have a
episode.
Yes, that could
we're
be
gonna all have
interesting.
a different take on that based on relationships and men. Yeah,
Okay,
that's interesting.
yeah. So one final question, I guess we need to be wrapping up, is what kind of friendship legacy do you want to leave? I'll start with you, Rock.
Someone that very supportive, respectful, and trustworthy.
Definitely trust, supportive, somebody I can be myself with. and they could be themselves with me.
What about you?
For me, I was saying I want to leave a legacy that I was a safe place that they could come and share. That I could lead with love, with no judgment.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And I believe that's all we have today.